Why do you look a mess, Mr. X? Well, I just went 3 rounds with Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk. On a serious note, her and I dated quite a while back, and she told me she could control her transformation when she was around me. Apparently, I never got her excited enough. Wait, it's not a compliment, is it? As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we're giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Everybody, thanks for tuning into the Extreme channel. If you're a regular follower of the channel, you know we're getting out of collecting, which means we're selling a bunch of statues. Well, this month, at the end of this month, we're selling a bunch of Hulk statues, hence She-Hulk. So I've owned her for quite a while, and I decided, you know what, let's review her. One last romp in the sack with Mrs. Hulk, or Mrs. Walters. So She-Hulk is Bruce Banner's cousin who got a blood transfusion, and she went from lawyer to superhero. So I've owned this piece for a while, and I think this piece is underrated because it's rated very, very low. You can get this incredibly cheap, probably, arguably, one of the cheapest XM Studios pieces you can buy. Now, while I say it's underrated, you also get what you pay for, so keep that in mind as we dive into the Extreme review today. If you're unfamiliar with She-Hulk, Disney is actually launching a live-action series coming up, so make sure you can check that out on Disney+. But She-Hulk is essentially the female version of Hulk. Now, if you're unfamiliar with who Hulk is, that's kind of weird that you're watching this. You should probably get the hell out of here. And in a few years, she probably won't be called She-Hulk anymore because that's probably offensive to some other people. Just kind of a private note there. But let's just kick off this review, starting with concept of She-Hulk. And this is where I think she really shines. I wish more Hulk pieces would do stuff like this. I recently had a custom Hulk right here that had a similar concept. So on the bottom here, you have a destroyed Hydra tank. Now, a couple different things going on. First, this is the entire base, which I think is pretty cool. Second, it's scaled too small. So this is more of a conceptual base, which I don't know if I dig or not. But as you move up, you have She-Hulk. She has completely demolished it. It's almost crushed in half. She's standing there very proud. Actually, some of her switch outs make her very, very proud. It shows her strength. It shows her physique. There's no mistaking that this green gal is actually She-Hulk, not only from the obvious green skin, but the smashed tank as well. So I think it's a great concept. It's simple, yet it works really, really well. The only knock I would have on them is the fact that the tank is not properly sized. I would have rather had half a tank and it properly scaled, because she is 1/4 scale, and I would say honestly the tank at best is 1/7, 1/8 scale. So because of that, I give the concept a 4 out of 5. Design is pretty simple on this piece. They did offer a few switch outs, and it's been a long time since I unboxed it. But I remember this cannon or the turret or whatever it is right here is a separate piece. The gun over here is a separate piece. This part's a separate piece. And then her arms and portrait are separate pieces. One of the reasons they're separate pieces is there's different display options. So first you have the really full-haired portrait. Now I'm not a fan of this at all. Then you have the one that I have displayed. Her left arm can either be facing down, or here's a picture of the one I have in the box where she's flexing her bicep. Now, I don't like that because to me that's too proud and cocky, and it's almost like she's posing for a picture even though this is a museum-style statue. So definitely some good display options, I think. Let's get the size. So the widest point, a little hard to tell, but it's about 16 or 17 inches. And then the deepest part is a little over 18. And the tallest is right under 26 inches. So it doesn't take up too much space, especially for a Hulk piece. So design, I think they did a lot of great things. I think the design is also a 4 out of 5. However, where this piece struggles is with the paint and sculpt, and specifically on the portraits. The portraits aren't good, just being brutally honest with you. I do like some of the other stuff, but there's also some issues. So let's dive into the paint and sculpt. All right, so let's dive in on her. And first we'll look at the alternate portrait. So a lot of hair, as you can see. And it's kind of globbed together. Granted, it's an older piece. I'm not liking how they did the strands of green on it, but it does kind of help her give her kind of that gamma effect, so to say. And this part on the bottom you would never see, like you guys saw with the switch out. But I think the portrait is nice. I actually prefer this portrait. And I may be so dumb, it may be the same portrait with the other hairstyle. Now, I don't like how they did her teeth. It's almost just a white blob in there. Her eyes are decals, so big misses on the paint and even the clean paint apps back there. As we talked about, this is kind of a piece that's just better from seen afar. Now they did a nice job with the green shading, not only in like the cheekbones, but the lips, the eyes. You know, in this portrait, the hair I do like a little bit better, obviously. That's why I style it. You can see the individual strands in there, and they didn't go crazy with the green highlights, which I appreciate. On this portrait, again, I would have liked this portrait because the eyes look a little bit better, even though I still believe they're decals. Her teeth look a little funky no matter how you look at them, but it looks better than the other one. A little bit thinner nose, in my opinion. But she is not attractive, and it's not because she's not green or she could bench press me. So the rest of her, strong physique, huge rack. I love the biceps, the shoulders, very fit, and not roided out like you typically see with Hulk. And again, I think the shading's really nicely done on the skin. Her legs too, I think they did just the anatomy I think is fantastic on this piece. Skin tight suit, could have used some wrinkles. There's a defect right there. Thankfully it's on the back. Can you tell I didn't know that existed till right now? So down here, tank is awesome, every part of it. Some of the paint here on the side, I'm not sure what the green was supposed to be, but I love the rest of it. I love how it's smashed. The sculpt on this is fantastic. You got the Hydra symbols there. Really incredible. I love it when, as I said before, when they do a base that's really part of the statue to tell the story. The turret, the cannon, the gun. I mean, I love how she used that to smash through it. Even though it's a little smaller like we talked about, her feet really shows her power. So yeah, I think there's a lot of pros and cons on this, but that's why it commands a smaller price tag that it does. Definitely not a bad option for many collectors. We're going to go ahead and grade the paint a 2 out of 5. Yeah, unfortunately it's just not good. But again, it's a smaller price tag, so you get what you pay for. But the sculpt, I think, is a solid 3 out of 5. Mainly the portrait is, I think, where it's really lacking, but the rest of it, I think, is decent. Now, value. This was an earlier XM Studios piece, so I think it was like 800 Singapore dollars, which is like 600 US. They made 900 of these, and as I said, you can get these under retail nowadays. I'm not going to grade the value on it because it would be a poor score, because you know you can get it for really cheap. And I typically only grade the value when it's a brand new piece. Now, does this have the X factor? What's its final score? It's clearly not a 5 out of 5 statue. I don't even think it's the best She-Hulk out there. I think Sideshow's She-Hulk is much better, but it costs about 3 to 4 times more. I think this statue is still a 3 out of 5. It's good. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Like I said, they could have done stuff better, but for the value, the price you're paying for, I can definitely get on board. What do you think of this older piece? What's your favorite She-Hulk statue? There aren't a lot to choose from. Sideshow's done a few of them. There's some customs out there. Throw that down in the comments below, and I ask you to comment because of this. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones, at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to stay tuned for that Hulk sale. Hit that picture of me, hit the bell notification so you subscribe. Drop me a like on the way out. That really helps the channel. I really appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. Take care.